All right, guys, we're moving overseas to some incredible pictures out of Hong Kong. Hundreds of thousands of people taking to the streets protesting a new law that could extradite Hong Kong residents back to China for any number of reasons. So our next guest was there on the ground. Denise Ho is an activist and was the first major pop star in Hong Kong to come out as openly gay. And she joins us from Hong Kong. So Denise, thanks for being with us. We mentioned this new law. Why is it causing so much outrage?
Hi. So this law, the extradition bill that the Hong Kong government is trying to push ahead on the Hong Kong legislation and Hong Kong people, is causing widespread fear because this bill that would mean that any people, any activists, any people speaking up for the causes that might be violating China laws could be extradited to China. And this is something that it's an accumulated frustration from the people of Hong Kong since the umbrella movement in 2014, which resulted into the Hong Kong government tightening their grip all these 4 years, with activists being prosecuted and put in jail for 8 years or 7 years or so, and then also some 6 lawmakers who were disqualified from the Legislative Council and so on. So there were a million people on the streets yesterday, and the fight is not over because our our Chief Executive Officer, Carrie Lam, she has announced that she is not pushing back this bill, and it might still pass on Wednesday.
Yeah, and Denise, you were also there for the umbrella movement. During that time, it was a bunch of student activists, but you were on the ground yesterday as well. Who was there yesterday, and what's your big takeaway from being there in person on the ground?
Yes, it was a very emotional day for Hong Kong people because it has been 4 years since we haven't seen any protest in this big and wide of a scale. And the million people that were on the streets composed of people from all walks of life, basically, students, scholars, elderly, young families with toddlers, any people that you probably can think of were on the streets. And to see these young people who have checked out with these 4 years because of the frustration and the disappointment from the Hong Kong government, and to see them back on the streets, that was something that we did not expect it. And it is something that is very empowering for the people of Hong Kong.
And what's your, where do you think it goes from here? These protests yesterday, what do you think will happen next?
Well, obviously, the government is not backing down, and they are still pushing ahead. And there were riot police who came to disperse the crowds at the end of the protest yesterday. And seeing them, the ways they are using the harsh way that they are pushing everything ahead, it is making us even more frustrated. And the fight is not ending. We are still continuing the protests, and there will be a strike, student and the citywide strike from our people, and people are going to keep on fighting, and there will be protests on the streets and also around the Legislative Council on Wednesday morning, where the lawmakers would be getting in to vote for this bill.
All right, Denise Ho, right there in Hong Kong. Thanks for joining us, and we hope everyone remains safe during these protests. Thank you so much.